Welcome to the Sheldon Kennedy Child Advocacy Center. We are fortunate at this center to have strong partnerships and relationships with all of the agencies that have the legislative mandate to do this work. Alberta Health Services, Child and Family Services, Alberta Justice, which would include the RCMP, the Crown Prosecutor's Office, and Calgary Police Services. We have partnerships with Treaty 7, Ministry of Education. We have the non-for-profit entity, which includes our victim support services, community communications within our schools, child life specialist. So there's many people that make the Child Advocacy Center work, and the glue that keeps this center together is our ability to create strong relationships and trust amongst the frontline people, which there are over 100 that do this work every day. The Sheldon Kennedy Child Advocacy Center assesses on average 1,500 cases a year or 130 new assessments a month. I'm proud of the people that do this work day in and day out. It's not easy work, and I'm proud of them for the commitment they make here every day. And I'm also proud of the children and the families that have had the courage to deal with tragic incidences in their life. We're here not to make things worse, we're here to make things better and to allow children to move on and fulfill the dreams that they've had in their life. And we know that until you deal with it, those dreams won't come true. So we're grateful, we're honored, and I hope you enjoy your tour. We are considered Canada's largest and most comprehensive child advocacy centre, bringing together investigation, treatment, prevention, education, and research for one purpose: to provide hope, help, and healing to children, youth, and families who are impacted by child abuse. Our vision at the Sheldon Kennedy Child Advocacy Centre is to empower those who are impacted by child abuse to lead healthy and productive lives by creating a community that responds collectively to child abuse.
Hi, my name is Emily Sinnott, and I'm the Child Life Specialist here at the Sheldon Kennedy Child Advocacy Center. And this here is Webster. He's our facility dog, our resident dog here at the center. And my job is mostly working here in the child space, which you'll see is a friendly and inviting place for children, teens, and families to spend their time while they're waiting to visit with the various professionals that are working here. My job is mostly to make children and families feel comfortable and understand a bit more about what their visit will entail. So part of that might be talking about what it's like to visit a doctor here at the space, or what it might be like to talk to a police officer. And we have a lot of different things that are meant to help just make kids feel more comfortable and safe, that they can share their stories. We have Webster, and you'll notice here he's doing exactly what his job is to just help you relax and to be a nice source of comfort for children, teens, and families while they're here. We also have comfort bears. They have little police sweaters on, and those are a nice kind of memento that kids can take home and end on a positive note for their visit. We have an app which we use to help kids understand exactly what they can expect out of the visit. So we go through the app with kids and we talk about what the place looks like, what everybody's job is, things that they might be wondering about, and we try and answer their questions and address any misconceptions that they might have prior to their visit. We also make use of puppets to just kind of introduce in a friendlier way what they can expect out of a medical exam. Kids have the opportunity to engage with the puppets and Webster, and they can practice listening to heartbeats or checking ears, things like that, so that they gain a comfort level and better understanding of what they can expect. We have a lot of volunteers that support our program here at the center. We have child space volunteers which come to us through Alberta Children's Hospital, and again they support just creating a comfortable and safe space for kids. We have PALS volunteers, which are more dogs, more pets that come in and again just provide a comfort to children and families. We also have crafting volunteers, so the police bears that the families get, the sweaters are knit by some very talented knitters in our community, as well as each child gets a quilt, and those quilts are made by the Quilts from the Heart Quilting Guild that put a lot of time and love into each quilt so that children can feel cared for while they're here.
my name is Dr. Sarah McDonald, and I'm a forensic interviewer here at the Sheldon Kennedy Child Advocacy Center.
Hello, my name is Staff Sergeant Dominic Mayhew, and I'm with the Child Abuse Unit of the Calgary Police Service.
And we bring children and teenagers into a room just like this one to be interviewed by either a forensic interviewer, like myself, or a Calgary police detective, or a member from the RCMP. So as you can see, this room is quite bare. This is to ensure that the child or the teenager is not distracted and that they can really focus on trying to recall things that have happened to them. And you might notice that there are some video cameras on the walls. The reason that this room is audio-video recorded is so that everything is captured accurately, but also so that our partners can monitor the interview from a room just down the hallway. This means that we can take breaks at times throughout the interview to make sure that we're on the right track and that we're covering all of the information.
From an investigative point of view, coming into this room allows us the opportunity to capture stories from children, family, or others who have information regarding an investigation. This room blends a comfortable setting as well as something that can be used in court.
When we begin the interview, it's really important for us to make sure that we reduce the anxiety of the child or the teenager. So we do build rapport with our victim or witness, and we go over some expectations for the interview so that the child or teenager knows that it's important to tell us that they don't know if they don't know the answer, but also that if they're unsure, they can tell us that they're not sure of something. We also talk about promising to tell the truth, amongst some other typical interview rules. When the children are interviewed, we use the most up-to-date and most innovative science to make sure that we are eliciting the most reliable information possible to assist in the investigation process.
One thing to remember, these rooms can get quite busy at times. We have 5 rooms set up in a very similar fashion across the floor.
So the child advocacy model yields many benefits. One of the most important is that the child usually only has to be interviewed one time, and this is very important. We're very lucky to have adopted the integrated practice model here at the center. This means that all of our partner organizations are in one building under the same roof. So that means for us, when we're preparing to do an interview, we can just walk down the hallway to the investigating police officer's office or the JICAP professional and ask them questions. This means that together, as a team, we can plan and prepare to have the most successful interview possible.
My name's Donna Neary. I'm a nurse clinician with Alberta Health Services, and I work with the medical team, which consists of 3 pediatricians and myself. We complete medical assessments on children from birth to 18 that have concerns of possible sexual abuse, physical abuse, extreme neglect, or if they are a sibling of a child that has disclosed abuse. My role is to attend triage daily so that we can determine which files that come forward at triage are appropriate for medical assessments or follow-up by our medical team. I also coordinate with the families for their appointments and gather medical information prior to their appointments so that they're not here for a longer period of time than is necessary. The physicians are on call 24/7 for children that are admitted to the Children's Hospital, or if there's any concerns from any physicians, they can contact them by phone. Before they are assessed by the physician, they are seen by Emily, our child life specialist, so that she can go over with the child and the caregivers what to expect during the exam, so that it helps decrease the anxiety. We see them here in the medical rooms, which are very child friendly. As you can see, we have a lot of quilts in our medical area. Each child that comes through for a medical assessment is able to choose their own quilt that covers them and protects them during the medical exam, and that they're able to take it home with them after the exam. We also have a social pediatric resident program here where the pediatric residents from the Children's Hospital come for a 4-week rotation through the Child Advocacy Center, and they also go to the Avert post and other places in the community so that they can find out what's available and what resources are available for when they become community pediatricians. By working at the Child Advocacy Center next to the Children's Hospital, our medical team is able to work with the other professionals from Calgary Police Service, RCMP, and Children's Services so that children and families are seen in a more timely manner and that none of the children and families fall through the cracks.
Hi there, my name is Corporal Jordy Simpson. I'm with the RCMP and I work here at the Sheldon Kennedy Child Advocacy Center under the RCMP Serious Crime Branch South.
Hi there, Jennifer Jackson. I'm a social worker with Alberta Health Services here in the Child Abuse team.
Hi, I'm Linda Shima. I am a social worker with Child and Family Services.
Hello, my name is Glenna Kolbach. I am responsible for intake and investigative assignment for the Calgary Police Service Child Abuse Unit.
Part of my role is to do the triage, and what triage is, representatives from each partner agency, Calgary Police Service, Child and Family Services, Alberta Health Services, and RCMP. We meet together every morning at 9 a.m. to discuss cases that have come forward the night before.
And as for myself, what I'm responsible for is reviewing what we call a 24-hour report, which is essentially a brief of the reports that are applicable to the Child Abuse Unit. So I review those reports, and based on the mandate of the Child Abuse Unit, which includes being responsible for all sexual assault offenses and severe physical assaults, I will prepare and send out to my partner representatives that concern the previous night, and then we'll meet together and we consult on the reported cases. What I think really defines our triage is the fact that we're very diligent in completing comprehensive background checks.
So there could be a lot of outcomes after triage. One could be that just police is assigned, or just Child and Family Services assigned, or RCMP, and there are files where we're all kind of assigned the file. We all each have a role within that file, and health would then give us sort of recommendations on what they can provide either during the investigative process or following the investigative process.
The role with the RCMP at the Sheldon Kennedy Center is really unique in that our role here is to assist detachments outside of the Calgary area with investigations of child abuse and sexual assaults. We work on files that are from both southern Alberta as well as other provinces throughout Canada.
So we are part of the JICAT team, and JICAT stands for Joint Investigative Child Abuse Team. And our role is following triage is to make sure that the investigation moves forward in whatever the appropriate means. I work for Calgary Police Service, and my responsibility would be to make sure that the investigator or the detective assigned to the matter has what they need in terms of resources to move forward with the investigation, whether that be partnered with Children's Services, or if there's a component where the RCMP might play a role as well. But for investigations that take place in Calgary, we would be responsible for the police portion of that investigation.
So with the RCMP's role after the triage process is very similar to Calgary Police in that we gather all that information and then we'll send the information and create a file to the detachment whose jurisdiction would be involved. We get a hold of the detachment members. We explain that we can assist with the investigations by doing child interviews as well as interviewing family that might be within the Calgary area. We provide the guidance and direction to those members, and we also liaise with some of the agencies outside of Calgary. With the RCMP, one of the great things that happens here at the Sheldon Kennedy Center is we're able to engage some of the RCMP officers from different detachments to actually come in and be part of the triage process and see how we work collaboratively, and then bring that information back to their detachments and talk about how we work here and deliver the message of how we work collaboratively, and that works really well. We continue to provide guidance and direction to those members so that the file can be investigated efficiently and properly investigated.
If it's determined that obviously there's a role for Children's Services within that particular file, we would work collaboratively with either CPS or RCMP throughout that process. All of our priorities is to keep the children safe. We have our legislation that we work under, so we are always constantly ensuring that we're working under our legislation and our mandates as well, but doing a lot of family meetings, lots of collaterals with people that are connected to the family, sharing information constantly with the detectives and with the constables So that's essentially at the end, if depending on what the investigation outcome is, we could still remain within a role with the family or not. It just, there's so many different outcomes that we would have for each file.
I think one of the biggest benefits of having the Sheldon Kennedy Child Advocacy Center is the fact that our partners are here under one roof, and the ability to information share without any barriers exists. We can walk down the hallway and have a conversation and make sure that the children that we are here to support get the resources they need immediately. And the relationships that we have developed through our working under one roof is strong, that we have the trust to share that information that we each possess, and making sure that those kids moving forward get the support that they need.
Hi, I'm Roxanne DeMar, and I'm an assessor with Children's Services at the Sheldon Kennedy Child Advocacy Center.
I'm Simon Staples. I'm a constable with Calgary Police Service, and I am a member of the
Child at Risk Response Team. So working with the Child at Risk Response Team, otherwise known as the CART team, Simon and I go everywhere together. So when we get a call to investigate a file, we may end up interviewing children and a family at a school, in a home, out in the community, really anywhere that works best for the family. And the investigation just depends on what the situation is, and our approach kind of depends on what the situation is as well. For example, a drug warrant file is going to look a little bit different than a physical abuse concern file. So working with the CART team means that we're first responders to those risk factors that we discussed, which means that we're the first people into the home or to meet the family. So we're assessing right from that moment everything, including the concerns that have been reported, as well as the entire safety of the child, including the home environment and the relationships within the family. In any investigation, we try to make sure that apprehension of a child or children is a last resort for a family. There's a number of other strategies that we can use to protect children, including safety planning and the utilization of other extended family members, friends, or neighbors to help keep that child safe while mom and dad do some work to address the child intervention concerns. Working at the Sheldon Kennedy Child Advocacy Center is important for CART because we can share information immediately with each other. We don't have to wait for somebody to call us back. We can go straight down the hallway and find out more information. This is really important for a family because the bigger picture that we have to understand the family circumstances helps us do a better job.
Working with the Child at Risk Response Team is very rewarding. Working with Child and Family Services gives us more potential to resolve situations, and the safety of the child is paramount.
My name is Kyra Condro. I am a Crown Prosecutor. My role here at the Sheldon Kennedy Child Advocacy Center is to liaise with the police officers, answer any questions that they might have. Once charges are laid, my role is then to present the case in the court. There are a number of prosecutors who come to the center. We try and come on a weekly basis to assist police in their investigations, to answer any questions that they might have. We will meet with witnesses prior to court to go over to review their testimony and answer any questions that they might have. When a prosecutor comes to the center, we will often answer police questions. They will come to us with a file and ask us, for example, whether or not, based on all of the evidence they have a reasonable likelihood of prosecution.
My name is Dr. Daniel Garfinkel. I'm a psychologist and the team lead for the therapy team. Our therapy team is multidisciplinary. That means it consists of a group of clinical psychologists, clinical social workers, and also a family therapist. The therapies that we provide are considered gold standard interventions. That means that the therapies have been scientifically studied and have been found to be effective in treating kids that have been abused. The therapy team sees children who are experiencing significant distress as a result of the abuse that they experience. Kinds of abuse experienced by kids: 69% have been sexually abused, 17% experienced physical abuse, 3% have been neglected, 2% are witness to domestic violence, and 9% have been abused in some other way. Prior to the opening of the CAC, our work with families and the information that we received from different systems was quite piecemeal, it was fragmented, it was confusing. With the launch of the CAC and the collaborative work that we do, it's often our other systems within the CAC that can alert us to the need for a child to be receiving therapy, and we can respond in a more timely and streamlined fashion. We now have a better understanding of what children have experienced and their needs. That enables us to be more efficient and more effective in helping them. Issues presented among youth aged 12 to 17 assessed at CAC: struggle with suicidal thoughts, substance abuse, self-harm, mental health challenges, aggressive or sexualized behavior at the time of their initial assessment. 2 out of 5 youth struggled with more than one of these challenges. The most rewarding thing about working at the CAC is knowing and seeing over and over again that even though a child has been significantly hurt, there is a path to healing, recovery, and happiness for that child, and we are an integral part of that path.
My name is Jody Edgeborn, and I'm one of the victim support coordinators at the Sheldon Kennedy Child Advocacy Center. Part of what we do here is when a child has been abused or maltreated and cases are being investigated at our center, our program is able to work with that child and family and offer supports from the beginning all the way through to the end of their case. And that can be anywhere from, it can be very brief services all the way up to 2 or 3 years. So the main objective of the victim support program is to offer children and families information, support, and referrals. Every day looks quite different. We work with families. We really try to, when they're first coming through our center, so when a case is first reported around child abuse, we try to connect in with families at that point and do a tailored plan to meet their needs. So that is very individual for each family. Sometimes that includes care calls where we call them once every 2 weeks or once a month and figure out what it is specifically they need. That can be anything from resource referrals to food banks, to getting their kids involved in free extracurricular activities, to setting them up with appropriate counseling, or just really anything that the family needs. In addition to that, so as when we first start working with them, they let us know what it is they need, and then we tailor a plan to meet those needs as it moves through the process of the investigation. And if charges are laid by police, then we really work closely with the families to keep them informed about court, where their matter is in court, what they can expect in court by way of court preparation. The backbone of our program is our victim support advocates, and they are volunteers. They do extensive training to come on board as volunteers. Part of why we have that very extensive training is because of the high level responsibility for the advocates. They commit to doing 1 shift a week for 3 hours, a minimum, but most of them do far more than that. Not only are they connecting with these families on a regular basis as a point person, but they are also able to see them through the entire court process and go down to them for preliminary hearings, for trials, and for sentencing, which really helps the families feel comfortable and safe and well prepared for their court case. At the Victim Support Program, we never close the door on families. We never give up on them. They're always welcome back for service, no matter how long it's been.
Our vision at the Sheldon Kennedy Child Advocacy Center is to empower those who are impacted by child abuse to lead healthy and productive lives by creating a community that responds collectively to child abuse. Together, we will show that sharing the responsibility and taking action for the well-being of our children, youth, and families is not only possible, it's a promise we will keep. Thank you for taking the time to learn of our work at the Sheldon Kennedy Child Advocacy Center on your virtual tour. Together, we can make a difference. For learning more about volunteering, funding opportunities, or receiving help at the Sheldon Kennedy Child Advocacy Center, please go to our website at sheldonkennedycac.ca. There is hope. No matter how dark it gets, the sun will rise again.